Hey everyone. So we're going to talk about XRP today, and I'm looking at this 1 day chart right here. We're chilling at $2.84. And honestly, not much action happening with XRP's price today. But here's the thing. I am so ready for this market to absolutely explode. I mean, come on, when is this breakout actually going to start? You know what I'm talking about, right? We've literally been sitting here waiting forever, and every single one of us knows it's coming. The question is just when. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through some crazy forecasts that people are throwing around for XRP's future. And check this out. Bitcoin's nearly touching $112 a day again. Though just like XRP, Bitcoin's also been pretty quiet today in terms of price movement. So listen, when Bitcoin finally decides to rocket up, and trust me, it's coming, it's going to drag the entire crypto market along for the ride. And once that momentum builds, that's when we'll know we're officially entering alt season. We're not quite there yet, but we're so close I can taste it. Now, let me break down this XRP technical analysis from XRP Update for you. Right now, we're seeing XRP trading in the super tight range between $2.76 and $2.86. If we break above that $2.86 resistance, we could be looking at targets around $3 to $3.30, which would be absolutely beautiful. But if we drop below $2.76, we might have to retest that $2.50 level. So keep your eyes glued to that breakout because volatility is definitely loading up right now. I'm seeing tons of people in the comments saying there's a real chance we could dip below $2.50. But honestly, I'm still super optimistic that we're heading in the complete opposite direction. I genuinely think we're about to start climbing back above $3 again. XRP hitting $10 to $16 September 2025. That's totally possible if the SEC gives us those spot XRP ETFs by October. Look, everyone's already talking about XRP reaching double digits come December, right? I mean, nobody is really disagreeing with that anymore. But here's what I think. We're going to see major ETF action plus some serious regulatory clarity, maybe even before Thanksgiving hits. Now, if both of those things actually happen, dude, we could be looking at XRP above $20 by December's end. That's insane, but totally realistic. And honestly, I'm still betting January is going to be our blow off top moment. Of course, that could totally shift depending on how much money actually flows into these ETFs. You know what I mean? So here's the thing about the Fed and these rate cuts. Yeah, I know everyone's buzzing about September cuts, but honestly, I'm not buying it. My gut tells me we're looking at October instead. They're going to drag this out as long as humanly possible, trust me. But hey, that doesn't mean September is going to be a total disaster for XRP. Listen, crypto's wild. Literally anything could pop off. And get this, XRP might actually be sitting on a powder keg right now. We could see this thing absolutely rocket to $13 next 40 days. That's what crypto analyst Tony Severino is calling. So yeah, he's doubling down 40 days to hit $13. And you know what? I'm totally here for it if that happens. Here's what I'm thinking. We're probably going to see tons of people jumping into XRP way before those ETFs actually launch. Yeah, they're saying October, but honestly, it could totally happen earlier than that. Picture this. Paul Atkins just wakes up one morning and goes, you know what? Let's greenlight these ETFs right now. Boom. Suddenly they're live and nobody saw it coming. You know how it is in crypto, right? Whenever there's this big date, everyone's circling on their calendars, expecting something massive to happen. That's usually when absolutely nothing goes down. But then bam, out of nowhere, when you're just chilling, not expecting anything at all, that's when the magic happens. It's like crypto's favorite plot twist. So this is exactly why I've been saying it could happen even this month. David Lovell, you know, the former ETF head over at Grayscale, he's been breaking down how Bitcoin ETFs are absolutely crushing it in traditional markets. But here's where it gets really interesting. He's talking about how altcoin ETFs, especially ETH and some others, might actually blow past Bitcoin's performance. You seriously need to listen to this.
You know, you can't have a conversation around crypto ETFs without always going back to Bitcoin because the growth has been absolutely astronomical. But very interestingly, as we have seen that, you know, a little bit of shift in sentiment, maybe a little softer on the Bitcoin side, a little bit stronger on the Ethereum side, to actually watch that manifest in ETF flows, not just performance, but also flows. So we all know that, you know, kind of your assets under management are going to be number of shares outstanding and the price of the asset. Sometimes the price of the asset increasing is really the driver of AUM. But what we're seeing kind of asset appreciation, but we're also seeing, share growth. And so that's saying that there's a real growth in the market. Most exciting for me, you mentioned it before, I'm an ETF guy, to see sentiment shifting positively towards Ethereum, and then seeing that manifest in share growth in the ETF marketplace continues to tell us a story that there's a real opportunity for investors to express their interest in crypto through shares of ETFs. And so we've gotten the recent approval from the SEC on the first couple of multi-token ETFs. Those are set to come to market in the next several weeks. Hopefully, we're waiting for final regulatory approval. But CoinDesk is going to be in the middle of that conversation. We're super, super excited about that. Again, another sign of the next maturity of asset management in crypto.
Right. So this person is basically saying these basket ETFs could literally drop within the next couple of weeks. Crazy, right? And you know what they keep doing? They keep pointing to those Bitcoin ETFs as their benchmark and visions. But here's where it gets interesting. They're absolutely convinced that XRP ETFs are going to completely demolish what Bitcoin ETFs accomplish. We're talking double-digit multiples here, people. Why? Because the hunger for this crypto is just insane. And honestly, most people still don't see it coming. But here's the thing. All these big institutions, they already know exactly what XRP was designed for. Now, full transparency here, I'm not even that crazy about ETFs personally. If I'm being real with you, I'd much rather see these institutions just go ahead and buy the actual asset itself. So forget the whole ETF route for a second. I'm telling you, this is about to explode for the rest of 2025. And bro, Coinbase wallet is literally showing these insane XRP dumps right now. Like, what is even happening? Check this out. The numbers are wild. Coinbase just pulled off this jaw-dropping move with their XRP bag. They went from holding over 780 million XRP to barely 200 million in just weeks, guys. I'm not even kidding. The data from XRP scam is showing, here's what's buzzing right now. People are pointing fingers at BlackRock for what's going down. Get this, as I'm making this video, Coinbase is sitting on just 11 cold wallets left. Each one's packed with 16.5 million XRP tokens. That's a huge drop from those early June numbers when they had 52 cold wallets holding nearly a billion XRP. We're talking 970 million. This intel comes straight from XRP wallets and that XRP commenter account over on X. Here's where it gets interesting. Increasing XRP wallets is also dropping hints that these massive movements might be connected to BlackRock. So tons of people are buzzing about BlackRock scooping up XRP through Coinbase. And honestly, that actually makes total sense when you think about it. You know what I've always told you, right? If BlackRock isn't filing for an XRP ETF, there's got to be a reason. And I think they're sitting on a huge pile of XRP. Think about it. They're either already holding massive amounts of the actual asset, or they're getting ready to file for that XRP ETF we've all been waiting for. I guess they're stockpiling XRP so they can back those ETFs when the time comes. It's one or the other, and honestly, both scenarios are pretty exciting. But here's where things get really interesting. XRP is breaking out of just being a payments token with this brand new gaming platform called Xcade. This thing's built right on top of B3's open consumer ecosystem, which is genius if you ask me. What they're doing is bringing blockchain gaming to everyday players, the people who aren't crypto nerds like us. And guess what? This just proves that XRP's role in consumer applications is getting stronger by the day. So Ripple just dropped their first layer 3 chain. And this is huge because it's their big debut in gaming. They're not just targeting crypto nerds anymore. They're going straight after actual gamers, which is honestly brilliant. What I love about this move is how Ripple's basically saying, look, XRP isn't just for sending money around anymore. We're building the future of blockchain entertainment. I'm genuinely excited about this whole thing, and I can't wait to see if it actually takes off from day one. Right now, we're looking at a $71 million valuation, which is pretty solid. And here's the cool part. B3 is literally powering Xcade's entire launch. So we're already seeing real applications. This thing could absolutely explode if people start jumping on board. And honestly, I'm super curious to see what happens next. But seriously, how cool is it that we're finally getting gaming on the XRP ledger? Now, here's something that really caught my attention. Web is teaming up with Air China to make XRP payments happen. This is actually huge, guys. We're talking about opening doors for 60 million travelers once this thing gets rolling. And here's the kicker. This has some serious connections in China too. This whole Air China partnership, we're looking at potentially reaching over 60 million members and passengers here. This doesn't just expand WeTour's reach worldwide. It's literally fast tracking their dream of creating this massive Ripple powered travel ecosystem. So this is coming straight from WebX International Limited. And wow, look at how XRP is just building rail after rail. Plus, they're really pushing into merchant adoption too, which is awesome. I'm loving every single direction this is heading right now. This is giving me major 2022 vibes. Remember when it was just announcement after announcement with Ripple Rails and XRP integration happening everywhere? Good times. Now, here's something huge. JP Morgan is calling Ripple a heavyweight. And let me tell you why that matters. JP Morgan basically sees Ripple as this major player in the whole CBDC era we're entering. And speaking of CBDCs, let me break down where we actually stand right now. We've got 3 countries that have fully launched: Nigeria, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. 49 countries are actually piloting digital currencies right now. We're talking major players like China, India, Russia, Thailand, and Turkey leading the charge. Now, 20 countries are in full development mode. The Euro area, UK, Norway, Mexico, Turkey, and Israel, they're all pushing forward hard. Then you've got Brazil, Australia, Canada, Japan, and Indonesia deep in research phase. Now, here's where it gets interesting. They're calling the United States and New Zealand inactive. But hold up. That's actually not accurate at all. Why? Because there's this massive stablecoin initiative they're planning to launch right here in the United States. Oh, in some countries like Ecuador and Denmark, yeah, they completely canceled their programs along with a few others. But that US inactive label, total misrepresentation of what's really happening behind the scenes. So let's talk about this digital dollar everyone's buzzing about. Here's the thing. It's literally no different from a central bank digital currency. The only thing that matters, who's actually putting it out there. Look, if the Fed isn't the one releasing it, boom, you've got yourself a stable coin. But if the Fed steps in and does it themselves, congratulations, now it's a CBDC. That's seriously the only difference between them. Here's what I know for sure. The US is absolutely getting digital money. Every single country on this planet will have digital money. We're way past the point where anyone can avoid this anymore. Picture this. Every single country out there is going to steamroll that one nation, and I mean completely crush them. Why? Because we're talking about tokenized gold, literally propping up an entire country's money system. Folks, we're witnessing history. We're sprinting back to gold-backed currency. Mark my words, it's inevitable. Now check this out. Ripple custody scenarios just dropped. So Ripple absolutely blew our minds with this release earlier this week. They're diving deep into custody solutions and mapping out the future roadmap. Here's the kicker about why custody is earth-shattering. It transforms Ripple into your ultimate all-in-one powerhouse for tokenization magic. People can actually tokenize their assets right on the XRP ledger. Pretty cool, right? Then they can use Ripple's custody solution to keep those assets safe and secure. And here's the best part. When they want to move those assets around later, boom, they just use XRP to do it. Can you see what's happening here? Ripple is literally becoming your one-stop shop for everything. And guys, the timing couldn't be better because custody is exactly what institutions are focusing on right now. Seriously, listen to this next part.
Ryan, I predict to you now within 5 years, virtually most of the money moving around the world, most of the dollars moving around the world will be moving on tokenized digital networks. And within 10 years, I predict to you that there won't be a securities offering, a debt offering, an equities offering of any significance that's not tokenized on chain. And those securities offerings that remain in an analog state will be like those bearer bonds in DTC's vault, the coupon clipping bonds that don't matter anymore. Non-tokenized, non-digitized securities will be like those old dusty photo albums, and securities on chain will be like the digital photos on your smartphone.
Listen, if you're not jumping on the digital revolution train, you're going to get left at the station, my friend. I'm talking about everything going digital right now. Every single asset you can think of is getting tokenized. Ripple's already way ahead of the game on this one. But hey, like I told you guys at the start of this video, I think we're literally sitting on the edge of something massive. The breakout, it hasn't even started yet, people. I keep seeing all these comments like, oh, this cycle's done and season's over, whatever. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Over these next few months, XRP holders are in for one absolutely insane ride. You're literally going to become one with your phone. I'm talking super glued, can't put it down, refreshing those apps like your life depends on it. And listen, I'm seeing people tossing and turning at night over this madness. And get this, you'll actually witness full-grown adults getting teary-eyed when they dare to check their portfolios these next few months. This wild ride is unfolding right now, people. My gut, I'm betting this whole circus starts revving up somewhere around September. Mark your calendars. I'm still convinced some massive game changer is about to smack us upside the head. Could be anything, right? Maybe our friends at the Fed finally wake up and slash those rates. Boom! That might be the exact fireworks we need to detonate this whole market frenzy. And here's the kicker, squad. Once this roller coaster leaves the station, it's going to barrel forward at full throttle throughout these crazy upcoming months. So I'm still calling that blow off top happening in January. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. But here's the thing. If those XRP ETFs keep pulling in crazy momentum like they have been, we could totally see XRP just absolutely crushing it all through 2026. Now, I know tons of people are out there saying Bitcoin's going to keep ripping straight into 2027, but honestly, I just don't buy it. Here's why. I think utility is going to completely flip the script before we get there. That's what I believe will be the absolute game changer coming up. But hey, until all this stuff actually plays out, here's what we got to do. Stay patient with this market. Keep that positive energy flowing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hope you have an awesome night.